Angular 5 class binding tutorial using ngClass Directive. Here we'll create a simple page with two radio buttons, and on the click of each radio button, a class that is mentioned in the CSS file will get attached. So when we click the first radio button, so the color, background and the font will get updated, and when we click the second radio button, it's going to change. So as you can see, the color, background as well as the font, all three got changed. So in order to create previously shown page, open up Visual Studio Code, create a project using ngNew project name, and then generate the component using ngGC component name, and then go to components TypeScript file and pick up the selector and then register it in the app.component.html file. Then compile and run the code using ngserve, and then we are ready to code our component class binding concept page. Now we'll open our components CSS file and create two classes. We'll name the first one first and then put a color, background and the font. So color we are going to put orange, and then background we are going to put, let's say, yellow, and then we are going to put font size, which is, let's say, 20. Then we are going to create second class and we are going to name it second. First we're going to copy this and paste it down under and change the name to second, and then color to blue, and then background to pink, and then finally the font size to 30. Now we'll open our components HTML page and start to create HTML page by typing the paragraph tag and then class binding using ngClass Directive. After that, we are going to put HR tag, which is the line, and then BR tag, which is the next line, and then we'll create a div tag and we'll put a text. Let's say the text will get updated on the basis of class defined in CSS file. After this, we are going to close the div tag and then we are going to put radio button. So input type is equal to radio, and then name is equal to, let's say, radio button btn, and then we'll put click event and we'll call a function. So we'll put choose class is the function name. That's the class we're going to choose, that's on the click of the radio button. And then we're going to copy this and we're going to create another radio button down under. Then we're going to update the parameter 1 and 2. What it means is we're going to pass the parameters to the function, and on the basis of it the class will get picked. Now we'll go to the TypeScript file, and here first we are going to create a variable public retval, which is a short form of return value. This value is going to get returned, and then we are going to create the function choose class public choose class bracket start val of type number, and then if val is equal to 1, this is the value that's going to be passed to the function from the HTML page. Then this dot retval equal to first, which is true, and then the second, these are the class names. So first, which is true, means the first is going to get called, and then second false. We're going to copy this, we're going to put it down, update val equal to 2 for the second one, and here we're going to change this to false. So the first class becomes false and the second becomes true. What it means is that the second class will now get attached on the click of the second radio button. Now in HTML page, in the div tag, we are going to create ngClass equal to, and we're going to put a function name get theme. So this is going to get us the retval variable of the TypeScript. Now here in TypeScript file, we are going to create a function get theme, and this will return the retval variable. So return this dot retval. Now our coding is complete. We are going to open the terminal and run this. Here at terminal we type ng serve -- open. That's going to open the application, and now we see the page coming. We're going to click the first radio button and we see that the first class gets attached, the second radio button and the second class gets attached. That makes our class binding using ngDirective complete. Here we binded ngClass directive to a component. We can also bind ngClass directive to a string or to an array or to an object. We'll see that now. Just like our method that is attached here, I could also type a string. So let's say I can write my class name, which is first. So I put first out here, and that's going to actually attach first class to the ngClass directive. Now we'll run this code by going to view and then integrated terminal. We see that webpack is already running. We save it, and then it will bind us to the first class. So our class name is first and it just binded. Now we are going to put our second class name, which is second, and we save it. It binds to the second class. What it means is that ngClass directive is binded to the string and it works successfully. We can also bind it to an array. Here we could put an array, and then when we save it, it's going to bind to it. So let's go to our CSS file and create a third class. So here we are going to copy the font size, take it out from the first class and put it in the third class. And so now our first class has actually color and background color, and the third class has font size. Oh, I put it to 400. I'll put it to 40. So now we save it and compile it. Nothing happens because second class is binded. We change this to first. And so now we can see that the text is very small and we have orange color and the background color is yellow binded. Now we are going to put third class out here, and so this array will contain first and the third class. And now when we're going to save it, you're going to see that the text is almost bigger than the previous one, which is 40, and we see that it's orange and yellow. So both of the classes are binded. So here we conclude that our array binding to the ngClass directive using two classes, first and the third, works fine. This brings us to the end of ngClass binding tutorial. First we binded the ngClass directive to the component, then we binded ngClass directive to the string, and then finally we binded ngClass directive to the array using two classes. This brings our class binding tutorial to the end. Thanks for watching.